The new line of Quadernos is quite impressive. They are the only units to use the E INK Carta 1250 technology. No other device uses it thus far. And they have two versions. They have the 13.3 and the 10.3. On the left you will find the A4, and on the right you'll find the A5. Now we'll do a quick chalkboard for you here, but there are very few differences between them because, well, they're the same line. The A4 has 2200 by 1650 resolution, and the A5 has 1872 by 1404. The A4 obviously is 13.3 inches versus 10.3 inches. It is also heavier, of course. It's 368 grams versus 261. The dimensions are obviously different as well, so is the price point. With that out of the way, looking at these two units, they are identical in every single way, and I will try to get that out of my system as much as possible, but let's look at the differences, of course. These are running the same OS, the same UI, the same button layout. So the differences is that a lot of the font is not only bigger, but it's a thicker line on the A4 than the A5. If you look at the top, for example, where it says settings and the wheel, etc., the contrast is actually ever so slightly darker on here, and all the lines end up being thinner on here, where it says find documents, settings, etc. All the lines are thinner, and they actually look a little bit less contrast, which means they're lighter gray than the blacks on the A4. PDF comparisons it's night and day, and why that is because look how much bigger the 13.3 is than the 10.3. Well, you will say, well, mathematically it's 3 inches bigger. You are correct, but that makes a huge difference. Look at the differences of these two. It gets absolutely dwarfed, and 10.3 is nothing to shake a stick at. This is a fairly large screen size, but it just goes to show you that 13.3 is the desirable screen size for a lot of people. Reason being, a full piece of 8.5 by 11 or A4 piece of paper or letter actually fits on here. It will fit over the screen, whereas the A5 is A5 paper. That's why they call it that. This is actually not going to ever fit a piece of real paper, so when you look at things, it will work if you have your medical documents and your educational files and all that. It will work, but it is always going to be scaled down. And for some people, they want the raw experience. They want the actual unedited version of their documents that they're getting from their lawyer, or you're producing musical soundtracks, etc. That's why the 13.3 is so desirable, because it actually fits a big piece of paper. And that is actually how 13. Now, a positive thing about the fact that these are different screen sizes is that Fujitsu gives you a lot of flexibility. You can do 2-page spread on this, you can do 2-page spread on that one, and we'll show you that in a little bit. So in that regard, they don't limit you and say, well, the 2-page spread looks best on the 13.3, so we'll keep it to that. They actually allow you to do that on the smaller version if you're on a budget. Now, writing, it's going to be hard to really show this. I mean, the writing experience is very, very nice. So nice that they've actually made their own Lamy pen along with their standard pen to go with it. Because this is the only screen in the current lineup of devices that are available that are not using glass or any sort of glass composite. It truly is a flexible plastic screen. service to help you guys understand what these feel like to have in your hand. If you want to see any other videos, stick around to Good E-Reader's YouTube page and check out our other videos. For goodereader.com, in a comparison of the A4 and A5 Gen 2, this is Peter.